What's up, guys? So I know it's been a long time since I did an update, and we'll get into that. But before we do that, um, you may have noticed that I changed all of my social media names, all my social media accounts have been switched from Bo Peeps Performance, BP Performance, or some variant of that. All of them have been switched over to Bo Peeps Garage. So my Facebook page, my YouTube, my Instagram, and I started a TikTok, are all Bo Peeps Garage. Keeps everything nice and simple, all one word. And the main reason I did that was because if you Googled Bo Peeps Performance, it would autocorrect from my spelling to the regular Bo Peeps spelling, and it would show a bunch of Toy Story scenes and plays. So yeah, not good for anybody trying to find my channel. So we switched that to Bo Peeps Garage, all one word. And thanks to TikTok, it's actually managed to get indexed on the Google search function. We're still not indexed on Google or on YouTube for some reason, but we'll get there hopefully someday. So yeah, that's why the name changed to Bo Peeps Garage. Anyways, let's get into this. Alright, what's up, guys? So I know it's been a long time since I've done an update on this thing. Something like 3 weeks or so, maybe 4 at this point in time, since I've uploaded a video. There's a couple reasons why, but the main one is just pure frustration. I haven't worked on it for about a week now. But, well, basically the whole time I haven't really worked on it. But anyways, so just before going on the snowmobile trip, I did a bunch of work on getting the audio stuff in and, well, mocking it up anyways. I didn't have any of the wiring for it yet. So mocked up the back wall and stuff. And then just before leaving on the trip, I tried to tune the ECM that I had in there. I bought some tunes for it, went to load them, and that's when I found out that my ECM that I had in there, while it worked just fine with the factory tunes and everything, it was flashed to my VIN and all that. But the place I bought it from, I don't know what they used to flash the factory file into it, but it erased the serial number off of the ECM, and because of that, I wasn't able to register it or license it to my to my flash scan. So EFI wouldn't let me tune it. So ended up, whatever, not a big deal. Just got to get a new ECM. So I ordered another one, random one off of eBay from a pick and pull type place, and went on my snowmobile trip. Anyways, got back from the snowmobile trip. New ECM had shown up the day after I got back. Hooked that up, tried to tune it, and that's when I found out that ECM was locked. And it said, well, the error code was locked with custom key. So was unable to use that one as well. Basically, it's just locked out of it. I can't do anything with that one. And I tried running the EFI Live unlocker. And basically, it just goes through and randomly tries keys within a certain range, or key range, and it just runs nonstop. So basically, I had this thing sitting here, hooked up to a battery charger, the key on, and the laptop plugged in and hooked up to the charger the whole time. And it was running that process, and that took about 9 days before it gave up. And I said, screw it, gave up on that. And then I ordered another ECM. This time I ordered a refurbished one through SoCal Diesel. And that one got here. So I was excited to put that one in. And again, it showed the locked ECM, or locked with custom key. So, ended up trying a bunch of different things with the wiring, talking to them. They have great customer service, by the way. Talked to them, got a few ideas of stuff to try. Ended up, because they thought maybe there was something on the data line that was causing the issue. So went through a bunch of my wiring, didn't really find anything. I even got to the point where I isolated it by undoing the data cable splice pack, which is basically just a connector with where all the data lines meet. And then it's just got a bus bar that goes across that plugs into it. So I unplugged that and I jumped the wires from the OBD port to the ECM, so that was the only thing on the data line, and it was still giving me the code, or the error code. So called them back up and ended up sending that back in with my core, and then my original ECM. Gonna have them refurbish that one too, so that I have 2 ECMs after this. But yeah, sent them back. They're gonna double check it, make sure that it's not something with the ECM. And that way it'll confirm whether or not I got something wrong with my wiring or my flash scan or something like that, or if it's just the ECM. Really hoping it's just the ECM, because I don't know where else to look on this thing. I've been through the whole harness again. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I gotta get them boxed up tonight and sent out. But before I do that, I'm gonna move the pickup into the hoist area here. And basically take a break from working on anything electrical. I'm gonna come in and I'm going to fix my broken off studs. I got one on each side that I gotta fix, and then I'm going to install my rear shocks finally. That came in after I ordered these things in August of 2020, and I think they showed up just before going on my snowmobile trip. So yeah, those took forever to get here. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break from doing anything electrical and just work on that, even though there's still a ton of electrical stuff to do. But yeah, anyways, that's where I'm at on this thing. I'm not 100% sure what all is gonna be in this video. Yeah. Here's basically the list of what I have left to do on this thing well, this is my list for the summer of what I want it to get it running and driving for the summer. All the stuff with the asterisks on it is stuff that has to be done. The rest of it's not necessary, but would like to have that done. And my goal is to have everything with the asterisks done before the Devil's Run car show in Devil's Lake, which I haven't looked at what the date is on that, but it's usually the weekend after Memorial Day. So that's my deadline to get this thing in a drivable condition, because I really want to put it in the show. Not sure if it's going to work out because of field work, but I want to do my best to at least drive this thing down there and check out the show one day. Worst case scenario. We'll see where we're at with field work. Hopefully we get in the field early enough that we'll be done by then, which is a double-edged sword, because if we're in the field, I obviously won't have time to work on this thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I wasn't happy with the way this thing was turning out, so I just went ahead, started over with building a new piece that fits in here. Basically, I'm building it to mimic the dashboard and the glove box over here. So I got this angle with one of them little needle trace tools that you see on Facebook ads and everything all the time. But anyways, that's what I used to get that angle, to make sure it kind of followed the same angle there. And then just went ahead and made the top as wide as it needed to be to cover this. So yeah, just did a rough cut on it so for now. I'm going to round the edges off, but to do that I just take and clamp a washer on, and then take my little handheld belt sander and smooth the corners out. So that's what it's gonna look like in here. And then I just gotta drill the 3-inch hole and 4 holes for the screws. And I can mount the stereo in here. Alright guys, so for the last 2 weeks I've been working on doing interior stuff, getting some wiring done, ripping out a bunch of old wiring. I got the vintage air kit installed. If I'm being honest, I did an absolute terrible job of filming that. And by terrible job, I mean I just didn't film any of it at all. So I'm gonna do a quick walk around. So everything in this box is what I ripped out from the interior there, from underneath the dash and everything. If you come in here, there's still a ton of wiring, and I'm sure that I could delete some more of this, but it all goes to connectors that plugs into something, so I don't have anything hanging out right now other than stuff that I got to rewire, or the seat harness, I guess, is just hanging out yet. But basically all I have left to do is this is the brake switch. These 2 green wires I think don't get used, and then I think purple and brown go together for the ABS, and orange and white are for the brake light switch circuit. So I gotta wire them up to some switches. This tan wire is the ground signal for the door open, and that shuts down the radio and accessories and stuff when you turn the key off and open the door. So yeah, basically I just gotta finish up the brake switch here. The 1 gauge system, I haven't messed with any of that yet, but all the wires for that are gonna come off of this. Then I gotta run an oil pressure sensor through the firewall yet. Then on the doors, I still gotta hook up the power window stuff. And originally I was gonna try and use the GMC stuff from the O2. I just ordered a regular cab switch with the locks and the switches on it, but decided I didn't like the way that was going to look, because it would have made this panel would have been like double the width of this one. So we ended up, these 2 center ones are just momentary on and are on, well, momentary switches. They're got 6 pins on the back, so I can hook them up from the windows, and then the other 4 are just on-off switches. Those will get wired up to this, which is just the ground signal off of the relays. So that'll complete the circuit and trigger the relays back there, or that I have hooked up under the hood. Also got the vintage air system all installed, the wires tucked up nice. Still got to figure out a way to get that to hold up a little bit better. But there's going to be a center console in here, so you won't see any of that anyways. That'll probably keep it held up nice enough itself. Power wire here. This is just a 25 amp circuit that I found, a random 25 amp circuit that I kept after pulling all the wires out. This is what I'm going to use to run my windows. And these little black wires are just the turn signals in the mirrors. We got the radio all wired up. I still got to add the amp wire to that, amp signal wire. And then we'll be running, what do you call it? Yeah, low voltage signal or whatever wires to the back here. I'm gonna mount an amp on each side, one for subwoofer, one for the forward speakers. I just shoved this in to see what it would look like. Yeah, there's the glove box after the vintage air kit install. This is going to get painted the bronze color as well as the dash here once I finish this. And then I got a chrome bezel to put on the kicker stereo. Probably going to throw that on to kind of match the chrome here and the stainless screws. Yeah, that's basically an interior update. Oh, I've got the new shift cable installed, as well as the new base for the lever here. When you come under the hood here, you can see I switched to this fuse panel instead of having everything. Before I had everything on the post there, it had the inline fuse, and it was just a pain in the butt to get out all those fuses. So we put this on there. This is going to be a pain in the butt with the way I have the wires mounted now, it looks like. So you get the idea. That's the, it's got power in, and then it's just got six outputs on it. That's controlling the relays here. If you remember, these two relays are for the high beams and low beams, and then these are going to control accessories. I am going to put 2 more of these in. Right now I'm planning on using one for fog lights here, and then the other one for bed lights, cargo lights in the bed. I'm just going to put some rock lights around the perimeter of the bed inside, and then I think I'm also going to run, since I got a pile of rock lights, I'm going to put some on in the wheel wells as well, I think. Yeah, and then AC lines are all routed. I moved this one. I used to have it running across the back, and I didn't like the way that looked, and just kind of cluttered everything up. So routed it straight down underneath the engine and back to the manifold back there. I still got one more hole to drill in the firewall for the AC drain. Yeah, I got all the hoses crimped and routed. One thing, I think I'm gonna see if I can't find a 90-degree fitting to put in place of this for the switch here, or even a 45, so that it doesn't stick up above the grill here. That, or I think there's an adapter you can get to put in line right here that would put it down instead. But yeah, that's all wired up. I still got some loom to put on. I actually ran out of loom, so I ordered some today. As you can see, I don't have any loom on the clutch switch here, and this part of the vintage air wiring. I'm also going to loom up a bunch of stuff underneath the dash. Flushed the coolant system out good. Got all the oil out of it from my mishap with the oil cooler install, or resealing the oil cooler. So yeah, we got that flushed and filled with coolant now. So I can get a little more adventurous with the test drive this time, because if it breaks down, we're not going to freeze it up. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Well, I guess I'm using the phone again. The GoPro seems to have a dead battery every time I take this thing for a drive, but yeah, this is much more enjoyable with working heat and a windshield. Alright, so update on this drive. I managed to get to my house where that wheel decided it was going to lock up. So there's a stud that's broken off in there, and I knew about it, and I didn't really think anything of it. But it managed to work itself loose. Yeah. Now the wheel doesn't spin all the way. So I gotta try and rig up some way to get that to stay pulled out, at least enough to get myself back home or back to the shop with this thing. But yeah. Alright, so I managed to get it pulled back through and sketchily wedged some little pieces of wood in there to try and hold it in place. Hopefully that'll get me back home. It runs again. So we're back from the test drive / getting some rollers of this thing. Got the tires all muddy driving around the yard. Worked pretty well, other than we kept blowing the, anytime I tried to get on it, we kept blowing this boot. Don't think I have it tight enough. But yeah, other than that, it worked great. Right, Justin? My cameraman over there for the day. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I have no idea what you just watched, because like I said, I have no idea what's on here. But please like and subscribe to be following along with the build. Hopefully the next one won't be such a scatterbrained shit show. But yeah.